Welcome to A Talk on Titan, the show where we deep dive into episodes of this series and discover what secrets lay hidden for us. As of this episode upload, Season 4, Part 2, Episode 1, Judgment, just came out after a long year hiatus or so. And actually it's been less, but still, oh my goodness, what a start, what an episode. There was so much action, story, and incredible moments in this episode. From Connie, to Eren, to Zeke's amazing reveal there, and oh my god, we got so much to talk about there. Onyankopon, Peak, every character that appeared here. Except for Yelena, she didn't really say much except, let's get out of here. Every character was so good in everything they said, did. All their actions are all culminating into this big war. This is the war for Eldia. This is the war for all of the world. So we are going to deep dive into this, and we're starting that right now with the very beginning, with the very first scene with Levi. Oh my god, Levi. Levi. Are you alive or are you dead? So in this first scene, we finally get the answer to this massive question that we've had since the finale of Season 4, Part 1. Is Levi dead, or is he alive? Finally, after months of waiting, Episode 1, Scene 1, we finally get an answer, to an extent, of Levi's condition and whether he's alive or dead. And to quote the Princess Bride,
is only mostly dead. There's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead.
He's only mostly dead, it seems. Hanji wasn't just protecting his corpse for nothing. She wouldn't protect him just for that. If he was gone and dead, she wouldn't have jumped into that river. She's protecting him. She felt his pulse. She knows he's alive. And that is amazing, but also very tragic and sad at the same time. The world's greatest soldier has now been crippled. Fingers now lay on the ground. His body all mangled and shrapnel stuck in his face. I count at least 1, 2, 3, 4 shrapnel pieces of wood stuck in his face. His eye now scarred and cut. This man has been through a lot. Not only is he going to be missing fingers, if he does recover from this well enough, he's going to be missing an eye. There is no way that eye, especially within the time that we have left for these episodes and this final season, where he's going to be able to recover and start fighting and zooming around. I don't know if he can. He might just be relegated to just tactician or plotting, if anything. I can see it now. He wakes up somewhere safe, only to see his fingers or his arm totally gone, no longer being able to see, and feeling total anguish, knowing that he can no longer fight and no longer be there to help when they need him most. What an amazing moment that would be. Hanji, wow, that was very, very brave on her part. Not only do you have a man that is mostly dead in your arms and you give him literal critical care, but she literally jumped in the river that's there in order to stop the Jaegerists from literally shooting Levi. As soon as these soldiers saw Levi, they're like, oh, look, there's Levi. Let's shoot him in the head. I can't believe their first gut reaction when seeing him is, yeah, let's do him in, make sure he's all fully gone. These Jaegerists, and especially Flock. Oh, freaking Flock. He's worse than Gabby. Granted, my opinion of Gabby is that she is a great written character, but boy, she is a bad girl. Oh my god, I can't believe what she did. She's a bad character, but she's a very well written character. As soon as the Jaegerist soldiers see Levi along with Flock, Flock's first response to seeing Levi is no idea what happened, but lucky us. Our biggest threat is a bloody mess. Who says that? Oh my god! He literally does not see Levi as a comrade anymore. These Jaegerists are trash. They are dangerous. And the other guy comes by and says, "I'll put a hole in his head." if he's dead, why? Oh my god. These men are terrifying. And one thing I realized going into this season, this part, the Survey Corps are no longer the Survey Corps when you see them. These are not the men who are fighting for humanity and fighting for what's right. These are full-blown Jaegerists. Anyone that's in the military now, that's in the Survey Corps, aside from our friends that we've grown up with, all these troops, these Survey Corps members, are full-blown Jaegerists. And that's scary. And I love the lie that Hanji has here. Very quickly, she immediately says he's dead. The blast shredded his insides, killing him instantly. And there's shrapnel and everything on him. And Hot Flock is just looking at her like, I don't believe you. Let me see him. Like, you can tell he knows that Hanji is lying. She's not looking at him. She's not concerned. She does not want to be there. When suddenly, the Titan that was next to them, which I thought had walked off, but I guess it didn't. It just kind of stayed there. The one Titan that opened up its belly and literally put Zeke inside, it starts to suck in steam. And it's slowly recovering Zeke. And that's interesting because, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. She's real. She's real. I don't know why. I don't know how. But Ymir Fritz is an active character in this story. And I had a feeling. Oh my god, she's real. She's real, and she's actually doing stuff in this story. I don't know why, I don't know how, but this is amazing. This show never fails to amaze me at what twists and turns it throws at us. I knew we were going to get a Ymir backstory, but somehow, through the possibility of the paths or some other means, she's actually interacting with the world and Zeke. Possibly something to do with her contact with the Devil of all Earth? I have so many questions, and if anyone has any interest, or even of my own accord, I might make a theory video about her and how her interacting with the world through the paths changes everything that we know. But for now, back to the story. When Zeke emerges from the Titan, and from literally seeing the paths like Ymir did, I now have a feeling this was no coincidence, and was perhaps fate, that our snarky and fun Ymir went to the paths and became human again. But maybe it wasn't just her. Maybe this Ymir, this Founder Ymir, had some sort of influence on all this. It's hard to say, but it could be that Ymir and Zeke coming to the paths, no coincidence. This might have been fate itself. Hard to say, but wow, we have a whole new element here. We have some parallel different world thing going on here. This is fascinating. Zeke is all wide-eyed now and looking like he's definitely seen some crap. And even though it was an instant, it felt like years. However, he didn't know who that girl was or what happened aside from him knowing that he had seen the paths. Following that amazing revelation and all that stuff with Levi, we cut to the opening. Fortunately and unfortunately, based on sources of some good manga reader friends of mine, I was advised not to watch or listen to the opening for a while since, unfortunately, the new opening apparently spoils too much of what's to come. That kinda stinks. However, I'm someone who loves openings. Titans especially are some of the best opening themes I've ever heard for anime. But oh well. I'm sure by halfway through, or somewhere around there, hopefully we don't have to wait too long. Or I don't have to wait too long. I'm sure you all have listened to it tons and tons and tons of times and seen the spoils and what's ever to come. I'm sure at some point I will be able to watch this opening and enjoy it and possibly analyze it too. But we'll see in time. For now, I want to just enjoy the show and not be spoiled. Starting things off after the opening, we cut to a short recap of where everyone was as the invasion of Shiganshina begins. Paratroopers are falling, a mighty cannon is dropped in, and the armored titan is ready to do battle. This is it. The battle for Eldia has begun. We're in the endgame now, and boy was the wait worth it. It's time to make a move, And boy, Peak had me laughing at her strangely funny reaction to her hand getting cut off. Oh my gosh, Porco. You'd think he would just snap the chain and she could just transform. Sure, she might have a little jangly chain going on her arm, but you know what? Well, for what he did, I guess it works. That was a great laugh, but boy, that must have been painful. Following that, Looney Tune Yelena is intimidated by Marley's attack. I would too. Instead of wanting to stand and fight, or at least command, surprisingly, Yelena was not ready for this. And her first reaction seeing the Zeppelins is to have Eren cower and hide away. Oh no! Eren, it's too dangerous! Don't go out there! We're gonna get killed! Use your warhammer and dig down! Oh! Does she know who she's talking to? This is Mr. Eren Vs she's talking to. He's ready to destroy all of his enemies. He's not here to play house and make tea parties. No, he's ready to destroy. He's not going to be standing down one iota. Upon seeing the Zeppelins, Eren thinks to himself, to think Marley would launch such a desperate attack, given what little they know. They shouldn't have taken the risk. Given what little they know. Ooh, could this potentially be confirmation that Eren has his own plans? Is Eren truly on Team Eren? Ooh, I have a good feeling that Eren is actually going to do his own thing when it comes to meeting Zeke. In fact, knowing Isayama, it could be something we aren't even aware of, possibly. But that's a theory for another time. Eren then thinks to himself, only you could have convinced Marley to do something this stupid. Yep, that's our Reiner, the shield that sometimes stupidly acts like a sword and takes action. Oh, Reiner. Trying to be Mr. Hero. Well, oh well. You do good, kid. You do good. And with that, the battle begins. The two titans clash into each other. The destruction has already started. But I have to wonder, where are all the people? Did they all evacuate due to the military being infected with the wine? Is Shiganshina now a military base due to it being closest in proximity to Marley? Either way, let the destruction begin! Also, Magath is here, and his reunion with Gabby was so sweet. I think Magath is awesome, and despite him and Gabby being of a different race, he does still care about Gabby and the other warriors. When Magath finds out about Falco having ingested Zeke's spinal fluid, just look at his reaction. This man really does care about these kids, and you can tell in his eyes that he fears for Falco's sake. It's also really cool to see Colt again. He's now ready to finally get involved in this story and search for his little brother. I exist! I actually matter, I hope. Through Peak's intel, there are about 300 high-ranking military members detained in Shiganshina's HQ, and about 500 enemy soldiers. So we have about 500 Jaeger soldiers ready to battle it out with 500 Marleyan soldiers. So we got a 50 on 50 plus Titans battle for the fate of the world. How cool! As Magath gathers information about the situation from Peak and wonders, why haven't they used the Founding Titan yet? Gabby just has to blurt it out, word for word, that Zeke is a Titan with royal blood, revealing one of Zeke's biggest secrets. Oh, Gabby, no! This could spell disaster for Eren and the gang. But let's face it, Eren is way too strong and has so much willpower, he's gonna make it to his goal no matter what. As Magath and the Marleyan troops prepare up, Magath claims that they will eat Eren and reclaim the Founding Titan, ending 2,000 years of malice. As we go into the next scene, Reiner is not letting up on Eren, pummeling him without a moment for recovery. Good job, Reiner! Looks like he's regained some of his emotional strength to put it all out here for this final battle. And here we go. Looks like Eren is using the Warhammer Titan's ability on his arms and hands, a staple of his normal fighting stance. How cool, but also very terrifying. I won't lie that I feel that Eren has lost himself and is no longer the headstrong boy who cared about his friends. Whether it is a front or not, I do not fully know. But he has gone to the dark side. He is going to destroy the world, whether you like it or not. I do not like this guy. He is scary. I want everyone to just run away and be free of Eren. Well, not be free of him, but just like, you're scaring us a little, Eren. Might want to take a chill pill or eat a Snickers or something. As Reiner beats down on Eren, Eren finds an opening, and pow! The armor on the face of the armored titan shatters in a million pieces. This isn't any old titan hardening on Eren. This is now probably one of the strongest hardenings of all the titans. His arms aren't just a blue hue anymore. They're like an icy white color. If Reiner's gonna break through, he'll need to think more on his feet and make sure he does not get a direct hit like that again. The animation in this battle is so good. Look at that! Map has really improved on their titans, I feel. Shiganshina is so highly detailed. Despite their questionable work ethic, there's a lot that they put into this, and I'm really happy for this first episode. But there's no time to take in the sights, as Galliard charges in, screaming at the top of his lungs to get revenge for Liberio! Nice try, kiddo. Go back to the kitty table, because BAM! Eren shoots some pretty nasty looking spikes from the ground, impaling both Porco and Reiner. One detail I really liked was that when he activates his power, his human eyes glow a bright green color. All the little details in the show and the way they draw the interior of the Titans through this episode has been amazing. Just when things couldn't get worse for Reiner though, the Jaegerists show up, equipped in their new gear and thunder spears, your favorite snack. But before they could land a hit, the unexpected happens. Eren's head has been shot with a massive cannon shot. That's right, the 100mm cannon from the Mideast Forces train has now been equipped onto Peak. How cool. She's getting upgrades, everyone's getting upgrades except Reiner. Oh my gosh. Also, how did she get on top of the wall? I'm not quite sure, but this changes everything for the Cart Titan's combat and her Panzer unit. I am so hyped. With another powerful hit, Eren is struck again, and I'm loving this running gag that Magath has to keep reminding everyone and correcting him of his new title. Marley has fallen so hard that Commander Magath has now been promoted to General and will make sure everyone knows it. That is great. I love this running gag. I hope it continues on. And wow, apparently he's now Marley's best shot? Marley really has fallen on hard times if they need General Magath to be their best shot. If Marley's forces fail here, their military force will be completely wiped out. This is it. This is do or die time for both parties. The wrong move could spell disaster on either side. Just the fact that Marley took this whole chance is crazy. So following that, the volunteers are just looking on as Eren and the Jaegerists are getting blasted by Marley's troops and zeppelins. Oh my gosh, it's an onslaught. Oh, the humanity. Onyankopon, however, leaves the scene and goes down in the cells inside HQ of Shiganshina, where our heroes are being held and locked up. Upon Onyankopon's plea to the heroes of Shiganshina to please help us, Eren is getting murdered out there. You gotta help us, man. He does not sound like Shaggy, but you know what I mean. He unlocks the cell doors. Upon doing so, Connie charges at Onyankopon, finally letting out all of his frustrations as he has been betrayed time and time again. He holds Onyankopon by the collar, slowly choking him. What strength for such a little guy? I'm fed up with being betrayed all the time. This is such a powerful scene, as we've seen so many times that Connie has been in the middle of it all.
裏切られるのは飽きてんだぜ俺は。何ベルトルト、何エレン、もう飽きたんだよクソが。
Reiner, Bert, Annie even. Every single time, he has been lied to, he's been betrayed, and he's been taken as the fool. And let me remind you guys, this kid, even though he's not the brightest bulb on the tree, he still made the top 10. He's still a smart cookie, and he's very well skilled. And his anger is quite justified. And such an amazing moment in this series, and will no doubt go down as one of my favorite character moments of all time. Onyankopon convinces the gang that he never meant to betray them, and he wanted paradise to prosper and grow and defeat Marley together, side by side. This man has thrown everything away just to come to this island and help fight. Kids are the future. That is one of the most powerful lines that I've ever heard from a character that has hardly had any screen time. This line has hit very hard and has stayed with me days after watching that first episode. It's really, really strong. Something tells me this phrase and the theme of children I feel will play a very critical role in this final season, and I thoroughly look forward to seeing how things will shape up in the end. Finally, I was surprised to hear that Armin, of all people, agreed with Onyankopon about using the rumbling to deter other attacks on the island for another 50 years or so. I wouldn't have had any better ideas myself, but it was quite surprising to hear that Armin would be in support of it. And lastly, Mikasa. After Armin expressed his opinion, he asks Mikasa, what would she want to do? And does she want to help Eren? She's hesitant in her reply, now knowing she's bound by her Ackerman blood, and that she is unsure of what to say or even feel. Most surprising to me is that she's not even wearing her red scarf. Mikasa has been broken down by the one person she cares about most, and no longer knows what's really her emotions or how to act with a situation that pertains to Eren. She's trying to detach herself from Eren, but she doesn't know how. She doesn't know if doing so will be the right thing. Even though the fate of the world may rest on them, the actions that they take now will be the right thing. Armin claims that Eren might be lying, which I would not put it past Armin, Eren, or even Isayama himself, that this could be a front to hide something or distance himself from his friends for all that he's about to do. It's unclear still what Eren's motive is and how things will play out, but we shall see in time as we come to the conclusion of this fantastic first episode of Season 4 Part 2. And so we come to close. We fade to black, and the new ending begins. For what I know about this new ending theme, it is viewable to all and is very beautiful. It's really pretty and uplifting after another intense battle episode. The imagery of the bird flying to freedom only to be trapped in a birdcage, the broken down environment, and most interestingly, the adult Eren calmly walking past us only to fade away in a rainbow sort of flames. How interesting. Could this imply or confirm that Eren might not survive in the end? Perhaps so. For all that he's done and has happened, it might be the best way for his story to end. We shall see. I don't know, but whether or not the curse of Ymir is still a thing, he, unfortunately, will be passing soon. Whether or not there is a slight time skip if he wins to his very last days, or he passes at the very end, we don't know. Either way, I think we're going to get a very bittersweet end to the story of Attack on Titan and Eren Yeager. I have a few theories for how this story shall end, but I'll save those for another time. But hopefully, before the series ends, we'll be able to explore a few of those, or perhaps a little after. We shall see, but we'll have fun regardless. That brings us to the very end of this breakdown. There was a lot to cover, and I am very much looking forward to seeing how the invasion arc, or whatever this arc's official name is, shall continue. Overall, I loved this episode, and I feel that it was a great way to start us off for the final season. And now, it's time to name our MVPs for the episode. For each episode of the season, I'm going to name the top 3 characters who had the most effect on me and really made the episode stand out. Starting with our top MVP, Connie. What he said was very powerful, and I really enjoyed his performance, and the actor's performance especially, in this scene. Seeing him grow from the snarky, self-proclaimed, I'm a genius character in Season 1, to a character who has been broken down, lied to, and betrayed. This is why having such a strong cast can really make a series stand out and make the world feel so lively. No one wants to see just Eren. I love all the characters from the 104th Cadets, and seeing Connie shine this way was so amazing. Coming up next, we have Hanji with her fantastic thinking and actions, which really won me over for our second MVP of the episode. Even though her time on screen wasn't very long, she literally had to make a split-second call that could spell life or death for Levi and even herself. Great job, Hanji. You deserve it. Hopefully Levi is alive and can thank you after a little recovery. Onyankopon is our third MVP for this episode for his prison scene and his plea to the 104th gang. That takes a lot of guts after having to be very careful about his actions around Yelena, having to lock them up and betray those you are willing to help. His plea about kids being the future was very moving, and I feel like this character has really had a lot of development and has been growing and growing as a higher character in my list ever since. And finally, our honorable mentions go out to Eren, Reiner, Peak, and General Magath. Though all 4 of them fought equally, and there was no clear victor, they all had amazing lines, fight scenes, and moments that really stood out for me that I had to highlight. Overall, this was one of the best premieres for an anime or a TV show in general that I've seen in a long time. I so can't wait to see what comes next, so be sure to subscribe and leave a comment down below of what you thought of this episode. If Attack on Titan can make the landing, I sincerely think this series will go down as one of the best anime of the decade, if not one of the best series of all time. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you making it all the way to the end. I really enjoyed this. I hope that you will tune in for next week as we go into episode 2. Thank you all once again, and this has been A Talk on Titan.